Welcome back again to County Talk. This is where we get into the nitty-gritty issues that the county either has to deal with or services that we supply, but we want to make sure that we provide education so that you understand sort of what is going on so you're in the know with us. So we're going to dive into one of my favorite topics and probably yours. I'm Sue Hansen. I'm one of your 3 elected officials, commissioners, and I'm here with Brandon Wallace, who's our Road and Bridge Superintendent. Super excited to chat with you. I mean, nothing makes people happier or sadder is county roads, right?
That is the truth.
So I know you're passionate about your job. You've already talked about that. Tell me a little bit about your background. What's your story?
So I'm going on 25 years in the public sector. I'm actually a 3rd generation in this business. My grandmother put 25 years in at CDOT at headquarters. My dad worked for a county for over 30 years, and so
our county, or
no,
okay.
He worked for Eagle County, and so it kind of just was inevitable that I was going to fall into this business.
So it's genetic,
I guess. So, yeah. Okay. I mean, my sister's an HR director in Kalispell, Montana. So
wow.
Yeah, it's a family thing.
Okay, so you've been in this position how long, and what led you here?
So I've been with Montrose County for 7 years. I grew up in the Roaring Fork Valley. I was fortunate enough right out of college to start with the town of Carbondale. I went to work for them, wastewater water, as a matter of fact. Thought that'd be pretty interesting. It wasn't as interesting as I thought it was going to be. I mean, it was a good job. An opportunity came available to go work for a county and do some more equipment operations, and there's more advancement in that position. So I moved on to that one, worked there for over 10 years. And then another opportunity down valley opened up. I became the public works coordinator / public works director, was there for over 10 and a half years. Mm-hmm. And then I took the leap and went into CDOT. Yeah. So played that game for a little while and thought, I just really like the county work. Mm-hmm. There's the variety of work that we have. And you see it a lot more than you do working for CDOT. And so I was like, you know what? Saw that the county was hiring and said, well, I think that's my home. So here I am.
You know what's funny is that people ask me all the time, isn't it kind of boring? And I'm like, not any. There's no boring thing. It's like a different thing every single day that you get to deal with.
Absolutely.
You feel the same way?
Yes, absolutely. So, yeah, there is no normal day in our world.
Yeah, you got to come in. You're ready to pivot. Oh, I was going to do this. Can't do that. Snowed, right? Just like today. It snowed.
Absolutely.
So what is a normal day? So is there a normal day for you?
I there's never a normal day with us. We have the best laid plans the night before. My great team, my operations manager and I sit down, the foreman. We try getting, the weekly schedule as far as here's our operations, here's what we want to get done. Obviously, like this morning, I was out at 1 o'clock in the morning driving roads, checking them, calling guys in. Culverts aren't getting installed today. Well, that puts us back a little bit, but we got to keep the public safe. So,
right.
There's not really typically a normal day. My normal day would be just to make sure that the citizens can get to where they need to go in a safe manner. Really.
So you had to get up at 1 o'clock in the morning to because you have to be ahead of the storm. Mm-hmm. We all have to go to work. You want to make sure that people understand that. Well, first let's go back to the team because this is your team.
This is, yes.
And you think that arrow's big enough to show us
it could be a little bigger, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
This is our great road and bridge team. We do have some planning and development people in there, and our fleet department also. But I couldn't ask for a better team. I mean, these guys, they day in and day out just always surprise me. Mm-hmm. Their attitudes, they're excited to come to work.
Yep.
On snow days, even when you call them at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, you're like, "Hey, good morning, sunshine." They're like, "Hey, I'm on my way in." I couldn't ask for anything better.
That's really great to hear because I've always thought, that it would be so hard. And I think about you often because when I go to work early, that sometimes roads are cleared, sometimes you haven't gotten to my road. But I always think, God, they have to be up already. They got to be, getting their coffee early. So you woke up at 1 o'clock, called you guys. They're not grouchy. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get out there and in the snow.
I mean, driving a snowplow is not an easy task, especially, when it's snowing, it's dark. Mm-hmm. The animals are moving right now, so you got to deal with that. Obviously, there's other circumstances that happen.
So how long does it take to train to be a good snowplow?
Typically person? I give them a year. We have some very experienced guys that are a huge asset to us. We put them underneath those guys. They take them out like we hired another guy a couple weeks ago. He's been sitting shotgun for a couple times and he got in the plow. He's going to learn how to drive it, how to operate it. You have a senior guy there. He's going to show you his way of doing things, which is not always the right way, but what he knows. And then we, kind of want you to express yourself too in that. I mean, if you see a better way, let's try it. Sometimes we just kind of get in that little mindset that my way is the right way, and it's not always. So,
Right.
These guys they've all adapted to that too very well. So
Yeah, that's interesting. You think of it, it's just a snowplow, but even with just doing roads, there's nuances to how people do them and tricks and.
Oh, absolutely. And there's always different, unknown circumstances that come up, whether, overnight, car accident and there's a car sticking out in the road. Nobody notified us. You come around a corner and there's a car sticking halfway out. Animals laying in the road. We find that quite frequently. Deer like to find the warmth, so they'll go find the road. There's salt there.
Right,
They're going to stay
right.
there. We've encountered citizens walking down the middle of the road, wearing all black. So there's a lot of different things. So these guys are, they have to be on their game. And they really are. They come in, they get their trucks going, get a cup of coffee, and off they go. But there's a lot to, these plow trucks, like you can see in this picture. Well, this one's just a regular tandem, but if you go back to the other picture, this is one of our new plow trucks, which actually has a side wing on it. So now you've got not just one plow, but two plows to worry about. So this truck here is, we can run center line to edge line in one pass, where before sometimes it takes 2-3 passes. This is more efficient, but again, it's just another implement that you have to be aware of. And so it does hang over, so you got to watch mailboxes and stuff on the
Are
side
you
of the
running
road.
both blades at the same
You
time?
are. Yeah, so you articulate your front blade over and it'll kick it over to your wing, and your wing will take it all the way over the center line.
I wonder if being good at video games, that
does
seems like
help.
it would be
It does.
really be coordinated.
Yes. Well, there's a lot of hand-eye coordination. It's pretty funny. Growing up, my parents always said, those video games are not for nothing. And, then I got in an excavator one time and
You're
they're
like, wow, this came in handy.
yeah, they're like, oh, okay, just kidding.
So parents, don't worry about that now if your
Yeah,
kids are
that's right.
spending all the time.
If you're worried about it, send
They
them
could
to
be
see
a
me.
future road and bridge
Yeah,
employee.
We'd love to have them.
Yeah, that's great, actually. It's really nice because instead of being critical about the video games, it actually comes in handy
Yeah.
for some reason. So these are our new plows. And then what happens? So here, tell us a little bit about what's happening here, because that looks like a grader.
So we run typically 4 motor graders on snowstorms with 6 inches or more of snow on our gravel roads. And so, in this picture, this one looks like it is actually on Dave Wood Road before we paved it. And so, we'll send our motor graders up, Kinnikin Road, Transfer. We have a plow stationed at Newberry Store for the Cimarron Road, so we actually plow that. That one actually has a wing on it now.
Okay.
More efficiency. The snow gets pretty deep up there. So typically if there's 6 inches of snow, I have about 8 to 10 guys in constantly working, trying to get our roads cleared.
So they would come. So if you have to call them at 1:00, they know that they have to get up and get on the road soon. So.
Yeah, and a lot of times we'll sit down the night before. That's one of the goals I do, and I'd have to say I really want to do a shout out to Scott Hawkins because he's great at sending those weather reports from NOAA. But we all have our own weather apps, so we'll sit down and we'll talk about that the night before. Last night we got our crew together, said, hey, there's a possibility you're coming in, make sure you're ready, get some sleep, that kind of stuff. So
Right.
we try to give them a little bit of warning. It doesn't always work, but
Well, and I think it's hard to be the person that has to be out in the cold and the blizzard. I always feel like that's the guy you want to treat nicely.
yeah. And, these guys, like I said, when it's pitch black out and snowing like crazy and, it takes a toll on you. So, if you see one of the guys on the side of the road, wave at them,
Buy
say
him a
hi.
cup of coffee.
Yeah, if you want to. They won't say no to that.
Yeah.
But, it is exhausting. And then, some of these snowstorms, we've been out, these guys have been out 10, 12 hours, and then we switch out, and they're just, they're mentally exhausted.
Does it sometimes you feel that we take you for granted?
I wouldn't say that. I think, most people, they're angry at first, but then they get over it. But I don't think they take us for granted, no. Especially us, we're trying to be proactive and not reactive. So I think we've set that bar pretty high that, if we can't do it, we'll take the licking on that. But, that's always been my goal is to be proactive on
Yeah, and
this
I've
stuff.
seen people on Facebook say, thank you guys, really appreciate
Yep.
that. So obviously when you're having to plow and snow, you have to coordinate with other agencies. How do you do that? And who does what?
So that's a great question. So a couple years ago, we actually got with the school district. And so, we want to make sure the buses are able to run and get the kids safely to school, obviously the parents too. And so we kind of made a committee, if you will, and it includes Montrose County, the city of Montrose, CDOT. In the past, we've had Montrose Fire. We've invited the SO, Sheriff's Office and stuff. So we usually have a meeting sometimes September, August, somewhere in there early to kind of just say, all right, here's the new roads we've added. Here's our plan to attack them. Have you guys changed your bus routes? Because as we know, this area changes a lot where school buses used to run this area. Well, we don't have a bus there anymore. Okay, well, that helps me focus on other areas that I can get this done.
So
and
you
same
have
with the
to,
city.
you can't assume that it's the same as it was
Right.
last year.
Correct. And so, the city too, I mean, they've changed and personnel's changing a lot too with the school district, with everybody. So it's nice to put a face with a name. With that whole committee though, we created kind of a phone tree, if you will. We do 3 o'clock check-ins, 4 o'clock check-ins. We all call in. We're fortunate now with our radios in our trucks, we can all communicate together. We can get on one channel. And so we're driving down the road at 3 o'clock in the morning, chatting with each other on the radio. I've even talked to CSP briefly about, if you guys are out and about.
State Patrol.
Yeah, I can't be everywhere at once. I try to be, but you're our eyes and ears, and you guys are out there too. So, we've really drawn in the whole community as far as public servants, and we utilize each other for that stuff. We'll talk to the city quite a bit. We share a lot of roads where we plow some, or we have mutual understanding of we plow this, they plow that. They'll get on the radio and say, hey, this road's real bad. Can you get over here? Or we got your road for you. You guys are over there. Can you take care of that?
So are you all on the same frequency, and you're just
we have the availability. Yes. So we all have our own operating channels, and then we can all go to one channel and communicate.
So let's just say you're out plowing a road and you come across an accident. Would you take care of that, or would you call? What would you do if someone was plowing the road?
That's a great question. We've had that. It happens probably every snowstorm where one of our guys or myself rolls up on an accident. I have the capability of contacting Wesco dispatch on my radio. So I'll just call it in. I usually stay. We have strobe lights on our trucks. We've upgraded to, brighter, bigger, better. I'll make sure that the patients are okay. Survey the scene. Usually sheriff's office or city's pretty close by.
Right.
They get there pretty quick too. And then if we have to stay and help them, we'll be more than happy to stay and help them. If it's a plow truck, I usually try getting them going. Obviously, I want to get them out and going, and I'll pull myself or our operations manager or foreman in to go help assist with them if they need it.
Well, because I think people have always wondered, well, if you're there, how come you can't just pull me out of the snow, and how come you can't help? I think that's probably something that you'd get to deal with too. Right?
It is, and I don't like that being put in that position. I want to be a good steward and help out people and stuff like that. But there's a point where we just don't want to damage their stuff or our stuff for that matter. Chains break, chains slip. The car comes out too fast, and now I'm down, a $30,000 sander.
Right.
That truck's out of commission. So that's the main reason we don't do that kind of stuff. Is,
but you would call the help
person. Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, we always call dispatch, let them know that there's somebody stuck or what have you. So we're always communicating back and forth.
I think the road and bridge is the most impactful department we have when you think about how many citizens we serve, and everybody has to drive, right? I mean, we don't really have transportation.
Right.
You can't jump on a train. So your job is important, and it impacts citizens. But I know that it can be fun.
Oh, absolutely.
And we have some fun things going on with the snowplow. And
we do.
You want to talk about the new snowplows and how
absolutely
the contest you guys decided to do?
So yeah, we'll start with the new. So this year we wanted to get a little bit of community engagement. I think it's pertinent to have some buy-in to the community. I mean, yeah, we're those people that they always see, but what are we doing? So this year we reached out to the school district and we did the Name the Plow contest, and it went over beyond my expectations by far. I think we had 29 entries. Some of them were off the wall like crazy, and some of them are just they just fit so perfectly. We sat down as a committee, picked the top winning names, and so now the kids will be taking these plows, 6 plows to 4 different schools. They get to paint the plow, they get a pizza party, and then their names will actually be on the hood of the truck. So as you see the trucks driving around plowing, you'll see them and you'll recognize them.
So you can start talking to your trucks. So we won't know the names until that happens, till they paint them on there, or when are you going to launch that?
No, we can actually, we've already let the winners know, and I'd be happy to kind of disclose on some of these great names that these classes came up with. So, some of our favorites that won were Darth Grader. Thought that was clever. Taylor Drift, Taylor Drift's pretty hot right now. So, Slushy, Snow Dirt, Sir Plow a lot, and No More Mr. Ice Guy. So very fitting names for
So
these
isn't
plows.
this funny that they were, I mean, kids are so creative.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
I would never have been able to come up with that. I think that Darth Grader is so funny.
Yeah, we even tried doing one just internally, just with some of the guys, like myself and the operations manager. And,
And what'd they come up with?
we just didn't have much, Abominable Snowplow and, something like that, which were great. But, I mean, these names are just, you
perfect.
can't beat them.
Yeah, and cause people to smile on the road.
Absolutely.
You pass by, and
Yep.
you go, just a little
Yeah.
bit of a chuckle. So, so that's really cool, and
Yeah.
real excited that you guys are doing more community engagement.
Yeah.
And who knows? There might be some kid out there that wants to fill your shoes someday, and
I
so
hope
it'd be
so.
so cool to inspire them and
Yep.
show them. I mean, this is not trivial equipment. It's really difficult to learn how to do
Yep.
correctly, and we have some superstars on you have some superstars on your team
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, Rusty
Yep.
Catlin, who is practically famous.
Yeah, him, Shan Stratton,
Mm-hmm.
Ben Smith, which is one of our new hires that we hired, took second in the National Motor Grader competition this year. So, we've got some real big names
Mm-hmm.
out there, and it's great to see when we go to these conferences or we go to these equipment rodeos, people know who we are now.
Yeah.
And it's even just around town. The citizens have heard and they're like, "Hey, congratulations, it's great." So yeah, it's just another outreach for us as well.
That's cool. I wonder if we could do a demonstration sometime just
You know,
here in the town.
We're gonna plan on Public Works Week this year, putting on some kind of special for the public to come see. So
Oh, that'd be
it'll
great.
good.
Yeah, that'd be super cool. So tell me, we're staying on the snowplow theme, but we have some new technology because it used to be, I don't know how you used to track people in snowplows. Maybe you could go from the old to the new and tell us
Yeah.
about that transition.
So up until this year, it was the old school way of literally all the maps for the snowplows were on these pieces of paper. You'd have to pull over and get a flashlight out and be like, okay, here's my next road. After about a year or two, you'd kind of get the hang of which way you were going. But again, we change roads. Things change. You might change your route. Your foreman would be like, I want you over here, not there.
Right.
So there was just a lot of variables going on. So
very much a manual process.
it was, and it was a daunting task. I mean, I know for myself, I've been in a snowplow several times trying to cover somebody, sick or whatever, and I was lost. Honestly, I was GPSing it on my phone, and that's just not the proper way to do things.
So fast forward.
Yeah. So fast forward to today. We've been looking. Curtis Milton, our operations manager, and I have been kind of looking for some new technology. Let's be more efficient, more effective, and help these plow operators out, especially in the snowstorm. So we actually have talked to several entities, and Castle Rock brought up that they've been using Plow Ops for quite a while now, with great success. And so we're actually getting ready to roll this out to our crews next week. And then come around Christmas time, it'll actually be forward facing for the public to be able to be a part of this.
Mm-hmm.
So what this does is it actually tracks every snowplow that we have out. And so on this picture, you can kind of see the arrows, and this is just a demo that we did just for this talk, but you can see the arrows and then the flag of where we started, where we stopped. So this will allow me to track my plows.
So this is your route. It's telling you.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So everything in blue is what we drove. The last chance we had snow. This was done, and so it tells you right there duration. We drove 4 hours. It took us 4 hours to drive 77 miles, which not bad really.
Yeah.
I mean that's pretty good.
Yeah.
We'll take it, especially when it's dark and snowy and that kind of stuff. So this will allow me to start tracking my plows per route. And so we have 4 crews right now that run shifts 4 different times. So I may have one from shift 1 that runs plow route 1 and shift 2 that runs plow route 1. The first guy's run it in like 3 hours and the other guy's run it in 4 hours. I can go back and look and say, how did you do that? And then we can all get together and be like, all right, I want you to try running that route this way, just to see if you can get it the same, or you may find a better way. This is just to be more efficient and more effective for all of us.
But just to clarify that we're not trying to zip through, and
No.
it's just more efficiency, not
Correct.
speed necessarily. So
No, our guys are instructed and they know better. We don't drive fast when we're plowing snow. That's just an accident waiting to happen and stuff. So, we got new trucks. They're nice trucks, so the guys have respect them.
taking care of them.
Yep, absolutely. So this will be really a super great feature for everybody. Like I said, come December, we're going to forward face it so the public will be able to get on, track when the plow truck went by their house and on their route, and when their plow was up, when their plow was down, and that kind of stuff. So I think it'll be, it's just, I guess, more transparency too to the public of here's where we are and here's how we're doing this. I mean, each storm's different. Some storms drop 4 inches. We can get it done relatively quickly.
Right.
Like today.
And sometimes it's heavier than
or it won't stop.
Right.
And storms always start and stop different times. So that there's variances there, but that'll tell me all that stuff in this reports that I can pull. So again, we can be more efficient.
Yeah, and if you can help in the training of somebody, if you let them know kind of the easier routes to go and that sort of thing. So so you're saying I can get on this app and I can look up Taylor Drift, and I can find out where Taylor is.
That's the plan. We're still working out the details on that, but we believe that that's probably going to be possible. Currently, as you can see, it'll have like the vehicle 1964 International / and then we hopefully can get like Taylor Drift or Darth Grader or whatever that the plow's name is. So yeah, once you get on there, hopefully it'll be forward facing enough to see where you can see that.
So that's cool. So maybe we can have kids helping their parents understand the app.
That'd be great.
Because kids are so much they're better at that than the rest of us.
Yeah.
So that'd be cool. Well, I'm excited because I think it adds a level of, I don't want to say fun, but sort of fun to Road and Bridge. Where
it does. I think so. And it's one of those things that I think that's just going to make us that much better down the road. With this plow ops, each plow truck has a tablet in it. And the great thing about this is we can turn on. I can send the guys messages. So if they're doing a plow route, and I get a phone call from Westco Dispatch that says, "Hey, we got an accident and it's really slick over here," I can send the driver that's close to that a message right off of that. I don't have no cell phones. It pops right up and it'll redirect them over. And then they can also pre-mark any obstacles that may be in the road. So if they're driving down the road plowing and they hit a pothole and be like, well, we didn't know that was there. Boop, they hit it.
So is there another view besides this on this?
So this is actually the backside. So this is actually what we will be looking at. We don't have the forward-facing one quite done yet.
Okay.
Once that does, again, we'll roll it out and
post on Facebook or something. So
we'll make sure everybody knows about it. It'll be, I think it's great. It's somewhat similar to kind of what CDOT has with Co-Trip, just not quite as entailed as that one. But for us, I think this is a huge step in the right direction.
So when you get a new piece of equipment, do the guys get excited about it's like me in a new car, right?
Oh, yeah. I think I get more excited than they do, honestly. But no, they get really excited. And, like I said, they're real appreciative of all this new equipment we're getting. They take a lot of pride in that stuff now. The trucks are always clean. They're doing a great job with it. And they baby it, so that's the beautiful thing about that.
I know that in the past we've had really old equipment, and I think some of the stories are that we couldn't even find parts at some point for some of that. So that fleet program that was instituted some years back has really been useful in terms of getting replacements.
Yeah, I mean, you can't even put a dollar value on it, to be honest with you. This new equipment is so high tech that and efficient that right there makes our jobs that much easier.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So it's really reliable too, which we're fortunate about.
Well, and the fact is that roads do wear out. We do get potholes, and so I'm a citizen. How do I do that? Can you?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you actually go onto the Montrose County website, and down there in the bottom corner, you'll see the little traffic cone report of concern. That's a great asset, and it's actually the best way to contact Road and Bridge. We check those frequently. I can check them from my phone. Operations manager Curtis, he checks them, and we respond pretty quick to those. That's something that we're really adamant about following up on. And so we would actually request that that's how you contact us. Whether it's a down stop sign. We've had tree limbs overhanging the road, or they're broken and dangling. Well, we need to know that stuff. Report it, and we'll get it taken care of.
Well, I mean, you can't have your eyes and ears on every single road in Montrose County, so we really do rely on the public to help in that case. So that report of concern, and I even tell people when they call me, I said, I know this doesn't sound like I'm being friendly, but go ahead and onto the website because then it documents what's happening exactly, and you don't have the sue factor, So it'll be accurate.
You made a great point that the documentation. I get 100 calls a day, and I try documenting every one of them. This way, it's on my computer. We save them. We have a file for these, so we know, and we can follow back up on them. And then, of course, Erica has been great about that too. Hey, are these done? Well, yeah, sorry.
Our little rock star.
Yeah. So, I mean, this really is the best way to contact us.
Yeah, and I think that, before we had we talk about the county being efficient, and when we originally, before we kind of worked on this report of concern, it wasn't efficient. Someone would call me, someone would call Commissioner
Right.
Caddy, someone would call, and pretty soon we were all crossing over. So
Yep.
this was a good solution.
I totally agree. And I think we still have a little bit of that. And so I think you made a great point that, let's use the report of concern. Let's stop playing the game of telephone.
Yeah.
This goes right to myself and Road and Bridge. So we will get it taken care of immediately.
And you are fast. I mean, I think I've seen responses go, whether it's in the next few hours or, but you
we'll
guys
try
are
getting
right
right
on
on
it.
them.
I'm really proud of you guys. I think you've done a really good job, and I think just even bringing this contest to the kids and sort of the community involvement and engagement is really cool. I can't wait to see when I could drive a grader.
Well, come on over. I got Frank in it.
Yeah, you better use one of the old ones just in case.
That's something that we really wanted to look at doing. I think the community outreach, that's something that we're looking at for the Public Works Week, is to allow the people to come, even just sit in a grader. It's not easy to do.
Yeah.
I've run one for 25 years, and I'm not even at Rusty's level.
But you think about someone like Chad, and he's just, it's like second nature.
Some guys just get it like that.
Yeah. So it's really cool. So I instead of embarrassing myself, I'll probably leave it at that. And
we can do it behind closed doors.
yes. Is there anything else you'd like us to know before we close out?
I just want to thank you guys and the citizens, really, honestly. We have a great community. We try to do our best for everybody. If we don't see something, let us know. We're always looking to become bigger and better. Our goal is to keep growing and to be the best county we can be. And so, I think we're in the right step. But again, community input is always a huge thing for us. I can't see everything and be everywhere. So, we're open doors.
Yeah, I think it's great. We ought to give cups of coffee for reporting concerns.
Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, you're in.
Gift cards or something.
That coffee is the key to everything.
It is. Coffee's our world.
No, we do appreciate, even people who complain, because it identifies an area that we need to focus on. And so I never really view the complaints as being bad, just ways to improve.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're unreasonable. Sometimes they're very reasonable. So
Yeah.
I'm proud of us, too. I think that the county does a great job. I appreciate all you and your supervisors and your team do for our county and to keep our roads safe. So
thank you.
Thanks for joining me today. I
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
So now you know more than you'd ever think about snow plows and how they run and motor graders. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to contact us at montrosecounty.net. Visit our website. You can contact either of us, and Brandon's always available. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.